from where we started, from where I started 10 years ago. It was one of my first games. We lost 10-0 against Australia in 2009, and from that moment on, we just kept improving, kept growing with the federation, with the team, and we just achieved what we really were looking for.
Yeah. Are you still hungry for more titles?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that's the beauty of sport. Every title is different, and.
The Euro Hockey Daily podcast is brought to you by XPS. Plan, prepare, perform, and win with XPS by SidelineSports.com. The essential software platform for hockey coaches all over the world. Not just for coaches here at the European Championship, but for all ambitious coaches eager to improve every day. A must-have tool for clubs who want to track the development of their homegrown talents. For more info, check out xps.promo/hockey. Welcome to the Euro Hockey Daily.
So we're back here in Antwerp at the European Championships in the press room, and together with me is Todd Williams. First and foremost, he is a hockey coach, but he writes columns for the hockey paper, and he's here as a TV commentator. So a knowledgeable guy about hockey. First, Todd, can you explain us why Great Britain is split up in all these so-called countries for all these European sports events?
Well, yeah, I mean it's a really interesting one, and of course in football you'll see England and you'll see these Scotland and Wales, but of course they don't compete at an Olympics, and so it's the Olympics that's the compromising factor. So they have to come up with a solution as best as they can.
Is this the typical English interest where the Olympics is the compromising factor, or is it not Great Britain and the UK which is the compromising factor?
So being Australian, we always used to say that they would get 2 bites of the cherry to qualify for tournaments.
Absolutely.
And so now what they have to do, they have to nominate one country, which they nominate England as the qualifying country. So hence that's why if Wales won this tournament, that would not qualify them. It would have to be England to win. And so when I remember back when I played, you would have a Champions Trophy where suddenly Great Britain would appear. And that was actually England's spot that they'd taken. So it is a very confusing situation. I don't know how far people have thought this through, but of course it's completely unrealistic. But you could have someone in the GB squad, say, taking a penalty stroke that might impact on England's progress in the tournament.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, there's no suggestion that there would be impropriety, but it would create a very awkward situation for everybody.
Yeah, but suppose that Scotland plays England, and it's not in their interest. If you're a Scottish player who's playing for GB as well, it's not in your interest maybe to score that goal.
Oh, I mean, it is confusing.
Absolutely.
You know, it is. If we think Brexit's complicated, then this is just another ingredient into that dish. So
it adds to the mix.
Yeah.
I always hear that England hockey only cares about their national team and less about its clubs. What is true and what is fiction in this?
Well, first of all, great question. You and I share a common belief about the importance of club hockey. And Belgium, for example, and Holland as well, has the luxury of being quite a small country, very well organised.
Absolutely.
England and Great Britain, but England is bigger and
you have some geographical challenges.
Absolutely, and so I have a lot of sympathy for England, Great Britain hockey, because they are caught in this situation of their funding being reliant on the performance of the national teams, and yet the raw product of player that the program gets is not being as well looked after as it should because the clubs aren't as strong as they are. So coming into EHL, for example, next year you will have, I think, Surbiton and Hampstead and Westminster. These are clubs that have 1 and 2 pitches respectively. These are clubs who train twice a week. So years ago I was coaching Surbiton. We came to EHL, we came through the first round, and then we drew what was then OZ, who have some good players.
Absolutely. Yeah. Back in the day they did.
Back in the day they did. Back in the day, and I'm good friends with Mink van der Veerden. And we were laughing because he's done some coaching for me in England. We were laughing, saying, you know, what's the game going to go? And you go there and you're playing against a team of fantastic players. And I remember sitting on the sideline, and as a coach you're trying to be cool and calm and collected, and inside, after the first 3-4 minutes of the game, inside I'm thinking this could be 10, this could be 12, because we hadn't touched the ball. And
what do you do then as a hockey coach at that moment? Are you starting to panic because you want your own team to do well? Or are you just saying, okay, let's relax and enjoy the beautiful game of hockey that's being played by the opponent?
I was keen to see if Van der Horst could make any sort of mistrap or bad pass, or if Bob de Vogt was going to make a mistake. You can only do what you can do, which is encourage and pressure. I say it in the commentary box that an Australian expression is that this player might be very good, but he still puts his trousers on one leg at a time. And that's what you have to do. They are only human. But the point was that when I was watching this, I'm thinking, we had some people go, oh, maybe we could do this to beat them. And you're thinking, really? They're training 5 times a week. Their worst player, and I use the term advisedly, but the player at the fringe of their squad is training 3 times more than what we do. So there is a huge problem, and it's not an easy one to solve, because another practical example is, and I said this, okay, next time we will train 4 or 5 times a week. Where? Where?
Because you don't have the pitches, you don't have the time.
You're going to say to the ladies' 6th team, no training for you. We're taking the pitch. Well, they pay fees. You can't do that. There is so much more than the simple solution, which is what. Looking at the strength and organisation of clubs here, it's so much more than just people putting money into the club. It's the infrastructure, the volunteers, everything that's gone in.
Absolutely, it's a full system.
The full system, and that is the problem for England, is that you have some fantastic clubs, but they are fighting to survive. And there are plenty of clubs with 500 juniors and great stuff everywhere. But it's a struggle, and
we're over here in Europe, or in the mainland of Europe. We're sometimes even jealous about the school system that you have and the importance of sports in your schools, because a lot of hockey players first come into contact with hockey as a school sport. But would you say it's helping hockey, or is it a brake on the development and growth of hockey clubs in your domestic league?
Well, Australia is probably the model that you should look at, because hockey is a school sport in Australia. So when I grew up, I played for my school and my club. But both. As a really youngster also. Yeah. I would play 9 o'clock for my school on a Saturday, and then 12 o'clock for my club. But it's for state schools and independent private schools. It covers both. In England, it's only private schools. So, and that is only 7 to 10% of the population. Those private schools are also playing rugby. They're playing cricket. And I teach in a private school. And so the problem is that the students are obligated to doing that, plus playing piano, being in the school play, all of these different things.
Different parts of their education.
Whereas if they play hockey for a club, they've made a decision. That's what they want to do. They're not having to balance their time between all these other commitments.
So the difference, if I get it right, between Australia and in the UK is, in Australia you play both.
Yeah.
And in the UK, it's either school or either a club.
Yes, well, more likely only school,
Okay.
because they compete.
Yeah.
They don't fit together.
Okay.
So schools will play on a Saturday afternoon, so it makes it very difficult. So if I look at my school, the very best players we have in the oldest team, 17, 18, will not be able to play for the club team I coach, because the fixtures will clash.
Okay. That is a bizarre system.
Bizarre is one word for it. It is dysfunctional. And this is always the battle.
Who's governing this situation? Is this the school system also governed by the sports federation?
Well,
or is this completely different worlds?
Different worlds.
Yeah.
So the same problem happens in cricket and rugby, which are the big private school sports, where you have the national sporting body wanting to have the best players, but
Makes
then
sense.
the school saying, well, hang on, you can have them then, but you definitely can't have them then, and you can't have them then, because the schools in many cases are very big, powerful entities.
Okay.
So if cricket is their number one sport, for example, and they're having their biggest match against a rival school, that is the sport they will be playing.
Okay.
And their decision
is the one that counts.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. As a European, I always roll my eyes and look in wonder at what's happening.
It was described to me once by someone from England hockey, and I won't tell you who, but they very politely said, if it was a business, you would never set it up this way.
Yeah, okay, well that makes sense. Finally, that makes sense. So what are the benefits of this central program at Bisham for England? Okay, we see a lot of the disadvantages because it will hinder players from playing for their clubs, and it will hinder players from playing abroad in better teams or in better competitions. But what are then the big advantages that outweigh playing in the top league?
There's none.
There's none.
There's none.
Okay, that's a short answer.
Well, and let me explain the answer. When I look at different countries, I look at the top 160 players. What are the top 160 players doing in your country? Now it's a number I've pulled out of the air, but if you look at Holland, 10 clubs, for argument's sake, 16,
160, 200 players.
200 players. So we know where they are. They're at one of the top clubs. They are training with great coaches, great facilities, 4 or 5 times a week. They have sports science, they have the infrastructure they need, so that's where they are. In Australia, where are they? They're in the States, and they're playing in AHL, the top league there, and each state will have a squad, and that squad will train beyond what the local clubs will do. So again, that core number is training 4 or 5 times a week with the same sort of support. It's just
in a quality environment.
Completely different way of doing it, but you have got that important number, which is whatever it is, it's well over 100.
Yeah, it is.
Go to England, 30.
Yeah.
It's a number of 30. And that's it. And then they have squads after that. But this is where you start to understand the very difficult position that they're in, because the next level after that is training twice a week. Yeah.
Still the amateur way, and
absolutely,
combining it with the daily job. And
so therefore, if you bring a player into that group, it is a huge step up. And even from the physical perspective, to take a player from outside that, their body has to get used to coping with training that much. Whereas in Australia or Holland, they're already a long way down that road. So it is it's a really difficult situation that they have.
Would you say this is the main reason why we now have a Brexit league here at the European Championship, where all of the teams coming from the UK, Great Britain plus Ireland are playing for avoiding relegation? Or is this just a fluke?
Well, it could be, and I would like to be non-political here, but maybe it's some higher force punishing them for the silly position that exists in Brexit. But I think it is a fluke. I think the Pro League has had an effect on teams in different ways. I think teams are caught between the Pro League having conditioned them very well for this tournament, but also fatigued them.
Absolutely.
And you know, we've shared our thoughts on the just onerous travel that players feel like they've been on what we call a hamster wheel. And my suspicion is that the physical impact, for whatever reason, has been more on the English players, or the English players, perhaps not more, but the English players haven't been able to cope with that as well. I'm not saying they're not fit, but they do seem flat.
Okay.
But on the other hand, Wales, I think, have been a revelation.
Absolutely.
And
the joy of them on the pitch in the Scottish as well. And the joy of them being here at this level.
Absolutely.
You see it on the field.
And if we look at them individually, Scotland had a terrible time against Germany, were then brilliant against Ireland. Ireland, I think, is an interesting one. I was involved with them back in 2013, and so got to see them. And they occupy a very difficult position, which is a team that is very close to the semi-finals, and then suddenly has to face the prospect of dealing with the relegation games, and that's not easy at all.
No, I can imagine. It must be difficult because there are very good players in that team as
very good players, great coach.
And it's not all because David Hart's not there.
No.
Okay, of course, a great goalie, we all know it makes a great difference in a team. Especially the level of David Hart.
Yes.
But that can't be the only reason.
No, I think again, I think that's the difficult space that they occupy. I think they are aiming to make the semis, and with that there needs to be certain risks in the way you want to play, so they're not going to go out into every game and defend. They know they want to play at a level, but that also leaves you open to being exposed for that.
Absolutely.
And it's finding that balance, and now they have to completely close the door. For these next two games they have to be completely closing all the other stuff off, get the two games done and make sure they're back again next time.
I can imagine. Okay, thanks very much for your time, Todd, and enjoy commentating, and hopefully we'll get to see some great games over the next few days.
Absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Together here with Tom Boon after the first three games of the European Championships, and we're here in your hotel lobby for the rest day in between the games. But first, Tom, how does it feel to be a world champion?
I mean, it's just a dream come true. I think we worked so hard with that team to achieve something. We were pretty close to win the tournament, Rio, European Cups, and we just failed like on the last step, and in Bhubaneswar everything was just together to make the dream come true, and it's just unbelievable when we see from where we started, from where I started 10 years ago. It was one of my first games. We lost 10-0 against Australia in 2009, and from that moment on we just kept improving, kept growing with the federation, with the team, and we just achieved what we really were looking for it.
Are you still hungry for more titles?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that's the beauty of sport. Every title is different, and
so what is European Championships? It's 3 games, 3 wins, 3 clean sheets. The public loves you. The Belgian media love you. The king is cheering for the Red Lions. You guys must love this European Cup so far.
Yeah, of course we do. Playing in front of our own crowd is just amazing, and the beauty of that event, I think, is that we touch people that are not used to watch hockey, and that's for us one of our biggest challenge. And it's just beauty. I think the crowd is amazing, the press as well, and I think we just hope to make it a really nice publicity for our sport, for our country, and for our team as well. And for the moment it's going pretty good. And I just hope we can still go further in our developing and win the next games.
Yep. Speaking about the next games, you got a big semi-final coming up against Germany. Not one of the least teams in this tournament. What is your battle plan against the Germans?
Yeah, I won't tell you everything. No, I mean, German side is one of the best nations since a long time in hockey, and we had pretty good success against them the last tournaments, winning quarterfinal in the World Cup, winning our Pro League games at their place, winning the semi-finals 2 years ago. So I think they're hungry for revenge. But it's going to be a really tough game. I think Germany is also in pretty good form, and I mean it's just going to be an epic game, and that's why we love to play those games as well. It's going to be a real battle, really good game, and just let the best team win.
What are your goals once this European Championship is over? So how about Tokyo, for example?
Yeah, it depends a bit what if we win or if we don't. If we win the Euros, I think the first part of the season will be more focus on the club and on the individual side, where we can really improve individually on our physical abilities. And if we don't win, then it's going to be
you have an Olympic qualifier coming up then.
Olympic qualifier, so it's going to be a tough 2 months where pretty soon after the European Cups we're going to start the trainings again to make sure we qualify for Tokyo, and and after that, I mean, it's going to be a hell of a year with a lot of trainings, and really looking forward to Tokyo.
Will you still be playing international hockey after Tokyo, you think?
Yeah, I hope that's my plan. I'm not the only one who can decide. But
no, absolutely.
but no, I mean, it's my plan. I'm almost 30, but I'm enjoying it so much. Still feel fit enough, and no injuries, and I hope I can sign on till Paris.
So with an entire family of international hockey players, did you ever consider another sport? Because you had your grandmother playing international hockey, you have your uncle playing in international, your mother, your sister. Well, did you ever consider another sport?
Yeah, I did. My father is a soccer player. I used to be a soccer player, and so I tried a bit.
Were you good?
Can't even remember. I was pretty young, but I played like 4 or 5 months soccer, and I was playing hockey as well. But I did both, and I was spending so much time in hockey clubs. That's just
it grew on you naturally.
Yeah. And I just follow what my whole family did.
Yeah. Your uncle, Margot van Geffen, has been president of the Belgian Federation now for over a decade, and has achieved something spectacular here in Belgium. Do you think that he should become FIH president?
No, I hope he's going to still be working with us, and just for us. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I mean, what I love about him is that he really puts. Everyone thinks he's exaggerated when he gives speeches about the future of Belgian hockey and
winning Olympics, World Cup, European Cup, everything before.
And what we saw is in every speech he did, it became true. So he always be like that in his work and in his career. He always looked at the bigger picture and how we could improve. And I think the federation did a pretty good job, and really happy to be part of it. Yeah.
Now, so one final question: who's going to win the European Cup and why?
It's tough to answer. I think there are for me 3 teams who can go home with the cup, and I think we're part of it.
What will make the difference between those 3 teams, you think?
I think it's going to just be the form of the moment, and I mean, we are all so close together that it can go either way. And I think that the best prepared team, the Croats, going to play a little bit as well. So So I think we have a big chance, and it's going to be tough, but we're going to do everything we can to take the cup back home.
Thank you very much, Tom, for this interview, and best of luck with the European Championship.
Thank you very much.
Together with Margot van Geffen, after her third game here at the European Championships in Antwerp, it must have been a long time since anyone had to ask you if you were happy to finally register a win in an event like this.
Yes, I'm very, very happy. The last 2 games felt as a loss, and that was not our team. And today we showed them that we can play hockey.
No, but that everybody knows, I think.
And score goals.
Is there a reason for the more difficult start this European Championship, or was it just coincidence?
I don't think there was a reason. We had a lot of opportunities to score and we didn't. So yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
Yeah, sometimes you're unlucky, and that was, I think, the last 2 games.
Okay. Looking ahead now, you're back on track for gold with your team. Who are your most dangerous opponents in this European Championship, you think?
I'm not sure. I think it's all a bit close, so you can see it, right? We have to play 3 games before you know if you qualify.
Yeah.
Like England, Germany, everybody actually.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. They have all good teams, and it doesn't matter who we play. We have to win, and that's for sure.
Okay. Looking even further ahead, Tokyo is around the corner. You've been to Tokyo recently.
Yeah.
How did you experience that? How was it already ready for you there?
Not ready, but more ready than when we went to Rio.
I can imagine.
That's easy, I guess.
Yeah.
It looks very cool. Great stadium, and like goosebumps if you walk around and you see like, okay, we're gonna work very hard for this
Olympic
year.
venue is always special, huh?
Yeah, it is. So it was great to see that.
You visited your para hockey teams yesterday or the day before yesterday, I think. Were playing their own European Cup here. How special was that?
Yeah, that was very special. They are so lovely, and they run around, and they are very happy, and it's great to see how they play. Yeah, it was very nice. It was very special.
Thank you. Okay, thanks Margot. Thanks for being here, and good luck with your road to the gold medal here.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Join us again tomorrow for a new episode of the Euro Hockey Daily on your Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or at studiohockey.com. Enjoy your hockey. Bye bye.
PS. Today is a Men's Day. On Thursday, the game starts with Wales versus Scotland at 1:30. England versus Ireland at 3:45. And the first semi-final, the Dutch against Spain at 6 o'clock. And the second semi-final at 8:30, Belgium versus Germany. Enjoy your hockey.